Hello everyone, I'm Renown Zero. We are going to be talking about the latest Sweet Baby Inc. possibly to be flop game in Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver that was revealed with the official title at Summer Game Fest. And it's interesting to me as to why, I'm sure this is written by the Wu-Tang Clan themselves, why would they need a consultancy firm to write about black characters when they are black themselves? And I'm pretty sure they can write the game about themselves, since the game is called Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver. It's a game about the Wu-Tang Clan. It's supposed to be like an open world RPG game. I don't really understand why you would go with a consultancy firm when you could literally do it yourself. And you should know about the history of Sweet Baby Inc. as pretty much anything that's been involved with Sweet Baby Inc. has either flopped or not done so well in sales, in reference to something like a God of War Ragnarok doing worse in sales than the original God of War. So let's get in this article here from That Park Place. The Wu-Tang Clan is back in the game, literally, but their long-awaited video game return comes with a twist that's raising eyebrows across the gaming community, namely the involvement of Sweet Baby Inc. Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver officially unveiled during Summer Game Fest, and at the kickoff concert of Wu-Tang's farewell tour, marks the rap group's return to gaming after 25 years. The game is being developed by Brass Line Entertainment, a studio that describes itself as, quote, focused on creating original fictional universes that center on black, brown, and other marginalized characters and stories. So, just putting it out there that because you're focusing specifically on a certain race, people are going to be less interested. Because rather than just creating great characters, you're like, oh, we're going to focus on this race specifically, and that's it. But what wasn't immediately mentioned during the show was that this latest Wu-Tang project also features the fingerprints of Sweet Baby Inc., the narrative consultancy firm that has become a lightning rod for controversy in the gaming industry. The confirmation didn't come from Brassline or Xbox, but rather through independent watchdog Master of the TDS of the Gothic Therapy YouTube channel, who has spent recent months investigating the influence and connections of Sweet Baby Inc. with a tweet right here. Shout out to the Master of TDS. Says, Sweet Baby Inc. detected. Brass Line Entertainment's long-rumored game has finally been revealed. Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver. Created with direct involvement from Kim Belair and Cameron Wild. Speak with your wallets, people. Personally, I was never interested in this game to begin with. Knowing that they're being involved with Sweet Baby Inc. makes me even less interested in this game. And as you can see, Compulsion Games is also there. That helped do the narrative consultancy for a game called South of Midnight, which I streamed fully and absolutely said the game was extremely below average. I think I gave the game a 4 out of 10. In a June 7th post on X, he wrote, quote, Brassline Entertainment's long-rumored game has finally been revealed. Wu-Tang Clan Rise of the Deceiver, created with direct involvement from Kim Belair and Cameron Wild. Kim Belair is the controversial founder and CEO of Sweet Baby Inc. and is well known for a speech in which she recommends people, quote-unquote, terrify their marketing departments if they don't see the value in forced diversity in games. So, if you don't get what you want, she wants you to terrify them until they give you what you want, which is basically terrorism. If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups, she said. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultancy, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility if they don't give you what you want. Cameron Wild is a narrative designer and sensitivity reader with Sweet Baby Inc. Wild made waves last year when delivering a presentation called Subverting Genre Expectations at the Game Developers of Color Expo, which is, why would you name an expo around like skin color, something that is clearly superficial and something you can't control. Wild declared that the quote-unquote stories we tell each other are way more than entertainment, calling for more expansive, more representational content. Well, if you want to do representational content, you should probably figure out how to make it actually good and not put out slop like South of Midnight. In a slide titled, Cool, So Why Am I Here? One bullet point stated bluntly, burning the games industry to the ground. Another slide titled, So Why Am I Still Here? Claimed it was, quote, to prove that space where whiteness doesn't have to live is where some of the best stories are told. A lot of black characters that are well known and well written are written by Japanese people. I'm just going to point that out really quick. Characters like Barrett Wallace and Saz from the Final Fantasy series are both characters written by Japanese people, and they're very likable characters. The influence of Sweet Baby Inc. with the Wu-Tang Clan game was confirmed in a video clip Master of the TDS shared of Evan Narcisse, a senior writer at Brass Lion. In the clip, Narcisse directly stating that both Belair and Wild worked on the game in a consulting capacity. That'll be from this tweet right here. Let's make sure the audio is on.
Currently at Brass Lion, I'm one of the writers and the art designers working on a game that we're making. Kim and Cameron both work on it in a consulting capacity.
And there you go. There's the clip that's supposed to be played there. Sweet Baby Inc., once a relatively obscure consulting group, has found itself at the center of ongoing industry backlash, including people like Chris Kindred, who decided to try to call an old job of Smash JT's to get him fired. Critics argue the company injects, quote, identity-first narratives and prioritizes social messaging over gameplay quality. Supporters claim they create more inclusive experiences, but recent projects associated with the group have struggled both critically and commercially. The most notable among them is the rocksteady flop Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, the widely panned superhero title that was lambasted for its clunky combat and disjointed storytelling. Hazel Flood, that's the name of this boring character from South of Midnight. South of Midnight, which featured heavy Sweet Baby Inc. involvement with Belair serving as a lead narrative designer, launched with a dismal peak of around 1,400 concurrent players on Steam. Of course, there are people that will argue that Game Pass cannibalizes sales. It all depends if the game is actually good, because a game like Expedition 33 and a game like Oblivion Remastered were not cannibalized in sales while being on Game Pass. But interest rapidly plummeted within weeks. The game struggled to maintain a few hundred active players, sparking renewed criticism over its gameplay story and production priorities. As the failures pile up, Sweet Baby Inc.'s role in shaping modern games has become a subject of heated debate. Against that backdrop, the discovery that Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver has Sweet Baby Inc. involvement has led to fresh skepticism about the game's creative direction. According to Brass Leon's CEO Bryna Dabby Smith, the new game draws directly from the Wu-Tang mythos and a film project titled Angel of Dust, co-produced by Ghostface Killah and directed by RZA. It's been in development for 3 years and features a co-op action gameplay loop where players fight to protect their neighborhood using powers granted by Wu-Tang Clan members. Quote, "We wanted to create something where it was built from the ground up," said Dabby Smith in an interview with The Verge. "It was by the culture for the culture. While that philosophy might suit a project like Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver, critics argue that Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement often leads to homogenized storytelling and tone-deaf execution. Their consulting model, which has become increasingly popular with publishers seeking cultural input, I really don't know why, especially from companies like Square Enix, one of the most popular JRPG developers, would go with this trash consultancy firm for games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Remains one of the best divisive topics in modern game development. For longtime Wu-Tang Clan fans and gamers alike, the question is, will this be a true tribute to the Wu-Tang legacy or just another cultural product undermined by Sweet Baby Inc. and modern consulting trends? I truly believe it's just going to be undermined by Sweet Baby Inc. and modern consulting trends because, again, majority of projects that have Sweet Baby Inc. consultancy involved have all flopped. Even had a company by the name of Volition close its doors after 30 years when the abysmal Saints Row remake came out. Or reboot came out. So, why anybody would be interested in this game, I don't know why. Again, the stain of Sweet Baby Inc. on this game will probably just put the nail in the coffin for this game to have any success, but we'll just have to see what happens when it actually releases. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like the video, smash the like button, comment below if you feel well this, subscribe for more content, hit the bell for notifications, set the bell to all, that way you'll get a notification anytime I post a new video or go live on the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.